WAOH is brought to you in part by Ohio's #1 trusted real estate team, The Young Team, online at theyoungteam.com. Welcome back as we continue our series focusing on the work that the people at Summit County Children's Services are doing to serve our community, to serve children, to serve families in need. And joining us right now is Laura from Sagamore Hills and a foster parent. Foster mom, you and your husband, Jack, decided to become foster parents. Give me the timeline. That was, how long ago did you and your husband decide to look into fostering and become licensed foster parents?
Yeah, so it was just over a year ago. We got licensed last April, and we've had kids for a year now.
Sure. And there are two wonderful children were placed with you as your first placement as a foster parent. And then later on, what's the timeline? Maybe a couple months later, they said, hey, we would like to place their siblings with you. So then you had 4 foster.
Yeah, and they didn't pressure us. They said,
Sure.
4 is a lot. You guys started with 2. And we said, no question, if they need a place, we want to keep them together anyway. So let's try to figure out what we can do to have all 4 of them.
And so just take us through, how did the first night, the first week as a new foster parent, give us the story. Nobody can teach fostering like a kid, right? And so how did this go with the first, now you're into it for real. How did it go?
Yeah, so this was our first foray into parenting as well. So we were kind of learning both sides of being a parent and being a foster parent at the same time. The first day we had 2 hours notice to kind of get ourselves ready. We already had the rooms ready, all of that good stuff, but we didn't know who was going to be coming. So I went to the grocery store, bought a bunch of mac and cheese and snacks and what is a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old like? Let's just fill the house with that. And they got here, and I think we were almost as scared as them because it was so new to us as well. And then we went outside and threw football and bounced the basketball and just chatted and kind of, lowered the tension, lowered the expectations, and just kind of all of us needed a little bit of a moment to figure out what our new reality was.
And then how much longer later was it that the 2 siblings came to join your family?
Yeah, so it was about a month and a half, maybe 2 months when they joined us.
And they all get along? They were probably all glad to be together.
Yes. At first, the 2 older ones were like, nope, we don't want them here. We love being just 2 of us.
Oh, they wanted the attention.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah. And then the other 2 came, and right away it was sleepovers every night and just so much joy and playfulness. They're still siblings, so we still get the fights and the, butting heads, but in reality, it has been such a good decision to keep them together and to see that and know that we were able to help facilitate that.
So there's a little twist in the plot here.
Yeah.
In that you and your husband, Jack, are fostering these wonderful 4 kids and having a blast. And it is, I could tell as you're telling the story, that this is very fulfilling. This is fun. It is in some ways maybe more fun than what you expected. And I'm sure there's challenges, but it's all worth it. Yeah. And then there's a twist with something, a development.
Yeah, so a week into us having 4 kids, I wasn't feeling great. I thought, it's just stress. We just have a lot going on. We have 4 kids now. But I took a pregnancy test and found out we were expecting. So we now have a 2.5-month-old and our 4 foster kids right now.
Wow. I can imagine that the challenges.
Yeah.
Or maybe I can't imagine the challenges, really. So what do the foster kids have to say about this? How do they react? How do they go? Tell me how I'm hoping they stepped up.
Yes.
How did this go?
Before she was born, we started doing chores where they could get some allowance money for doing some stuff around the house. And all of them said, I want to do baby chores. I want to help change diapers. I want to help all of this, which shocked us. I didn't think school-age kids wanted to, help change diapers. But so from before she even got here, they were ready to be here. They were super excited about her. They came to visit her in the hospital the first day she was born, just cooing over her. And since she got home, they read books to her. They help pick out clothes that she's going to wear. The youngest one has helped us change diapers, but none of the others have. So I think that was they thought they might want to, and then they've decided to not to. But she has made them super excited to suddenly have a younger child in the house that they can take care of as well. And so it's been really fun to see her with them and them with her.
I need to know the funniest or most striking family or friend reaction to this situation. How you have a village, you have support, but along the way, somebody must have said something that struck you as humorous, or what was the best reaction?
Yeah, I think the quantity of kids has been the biggest shock. So my husband's best friend, we announced we were pregnant, and he kind of sits for a minute, and you can see he's like calculating or thinking, and he goes, five kids? Like that was his very first words out of his mouth, was just the number of human beings extra that would be in our house. So that was pretty funny.
Just putting the numbers together.
Yeah.
How do you do it? You just in sitting here talking with you just now, I'm struck by just how much joy I can sense from you in this. And how do you do it?
My husband and I are a very good team. So we said every so often we say, this would never be happening if we weren't such a good team, if we weren't so in step, if we weren't so on the same page. We also did a lot of research ahead of time to know like kind of what to expect. Doing research and then living it are two different things, but it can help remind us of like, oh, this is why this is happening, or oh yeah, we read about this, or oh yeah, this is part of what we signed up for, and that sets expectations. And also we are learning to just go with the flow, just being easygoing about, the house isn't always clean, and we have to pivot a lot, or we have to let things go and just go, this isn't worth it. Safety is more important, or, giving them a positive experience, and just finding that rhythm of being like, it's okay if it's not perfect, and giving ourselves some grace, I think helps make it a lot more enjoyable.
No one can teach parenting like a kid.
Yes.
What have you and your husband learned through all this?
You're always growing. Even as an adult, you're always growing. Like we get to see in just 1 year physical growth, like football cleats that they wore last fall. For flag football this season, we had to buy new ones. So very quickly, like physical growth that's happening, but also just development growth. And like, it's amazing to see them grow up in 1 year and then like look back at yourself and realize how much you've grown as well. That's pretty powerful.
What advice do you give to anyone watching that would consider becoming a foster parent? Maybe just exploring the idea, looking into it, getting into respite care, or volunteering for all the programs that happen at Summit County Children's Services. What advice do you give for anyone who would consider taking a look at being a foster parent?
Yeah. I think we have to acknowledge it's hard. But then we also can realize that we can get a lot out of it. Like, I know it's for the kids and for the families. Like, it's not just for taking care of kids for a few months. It's also helping those families stay connected. They have weekly visits. It's also for knowing that we're supporting families in our community. And that brings a lot of pride that, oh yeah, we're not just staying within our home and keeping our doors closed. Like, we've actually opened our doors to a family, but also like the larger community as a whole. And being advocates, like, our lives are changed forever. Doesn't matter how long we're going to do this or what it's going to look like or how it'll be different. Like, we will always have a clearer picture and clear eyes on what's going on in our community, what the need is. And I think that the more people in our community that can see that can recognize what the need is and see the kids that your friends, your friends' kids at school, like they might be in need or they might be in care, and how can we step up and support them and just acknowledge it. I think there's a lot. Awareness goes a long way. Then you can make decisions after that.
Describe some of the activities. You mentioned flag football. I remember changing things at work so that I could be at baseball games.
Yep.
And, I didn't necessarily like watching baseball until my kids are in it.
Yes.
And now I'm there standing in a field for 3 hours,
yes.
Talking with other parents and watching the kids. And I became the team photographer because that was, I thought, all right, I'll bring a camera and I'll take pictures of everybody's at bat. Why not? What are the activities? You mentioned the flag football.
Yep. So we were in tackle football and flag football. We have a gymnast in the house. We have 3 cheerleaders. We have an artist. So we've tried to let them have those activities and show off what they can do and their skills, and keep growing in those. We have music concerts. We have a flute player. And so it's been so much fun to support all of that. I was sitting in the rain for 5 hours Saturday for flag football. Not
That's
my favorite.
Dedication.
Yes.
I remember those. Now, so the work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage you and your husband both have careers?
Yes.
You're both working.
Yes.
But doing all of this and getting to the gymnast events and all gymnastics and football and all that. How do you do it?
Well, we're really lucky right now. We both are able to work from home. I know that 2 people who have full-time careers, that's not always going to be what it looks like. So we were able to say yes because we knew we had the workplace flexibility, we had the support. We both have leadership that have kids and understand, I might need to duck out a little early this day, or I have a sick kid at home, what that looks like. But I think having conversations with your bosses, your workplace, and realizing that they really want to support you and figure that out, I think is really important.
Did you have to change cars? Did you have to go to a car dealership and trade in one? And what's the car situations that I'm thinking about?
Yes.
Got to have the car seat. You can't have a 2-door car. You need an SUV. How did this go?
Yes. Well, before baby got here, we didn't have to worry so much about the car seat, but we looked at our small SUV and counted and said, okay, we can fit 1 grown-up and 4 kids, but not 2 grown-ups and 4 kids. And so we had already been in talks about someday in our future, a minivan was going to be in our future anyway. So we went and got a used minivan to help accommodate everyone, because we knew there would be times that all 6 of us would be going places, now 7. And so that's been great. The minivan, it can only fit 1 more kid. So we didn't get the big van that could fit 10 people. We wanted to keep it. The bigger the car, the more kids you can fit. And that gives you ideas.
Yes, I understand. Yeah. That's very, very good. Yeah. It has been a joy to sit here and chat with you about, and I could go on, and there's an interest of time. But what advice would you give to anyone watching that might be inspired to look at fostering? What advice do you give for somebody that's just on the fence, thinking about maybe starting the process to look into being a licensed foster parent?
So something I like to share with people is we always tell kids that they can do hard things. We're always trying to encourage them and push them to their fullest potential. And so I would tell potential people who are interested, that they can do hard things. We can challenge ourselves. There's always growth in that and pushing ourselves. And fostering is not easy, but it is very rewarding. You see a lot of change with yourself. And so just to tell people, you can do something hard as well. We tell kids that. We try to help them strive to be the best person and the best version of themselves. So that doesn't stop when we become adults either.
So the oldest of all the kids is 13?
Yeah. We have a teenager.
And are you ready to teach driver's ed?
Oh, no, not yet.
Not yet. That's...
No. I'm she's got a couple years. We'll get there when we get there.
I remember wanting to drive starting at age 10.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Kids, this next generation, they're not as interested in driving, I think, is what I've noticed.
Yeah. My husband's much calmer than I am, so maybe he'll be the one that starts that journey. Yeah.
If it gets to that point, he'll be the driver's ed instructor.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. That's phenomenal. Thank you for all you're doing for these kids and for Summit County Children's Services. And thank you for watching. And we hope that perhaps through these series here on WAOH, that maybe somebody in our audience might be inspired to step up and take a look at the needs here in our community for all of the families and children in need, and take a look at fostering, respite care, volunteering. There's a lot of ways to get involved. SummitKids.org is, of course, the place to go to get that process started. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.